Do it.
Hey, YouTube. I'm Eric Shepard.
And I'm Lindsay Shepard.
And we're the Shepard. Okay. And welcome back to episode 3 of The Outspoken. Just to remind you guys, I know we got some new viewers since the last rate rant. This is how we do things here. You ask questions, and we answer them. So it's
He answers them.
I answer them mostly. She's going to help though today.
A little bit.
So you guys are really in charge here. Put your questions or topic suggestions in the comments below, and next time we'll feature you and answer your questions. So it's simple. And all I ask for in return is constant validation. I need your love, please. Subscribe. There's a button, I think here or here, I don't know, somewhere. There's a button down there. Click subscribe. It's real easy. Give the video a thumbs up, but I don't care about that. I need subs, man. I want to know I'm not talking into the void. So like the video, subscribe, and then leave your questions in the comments below, and you will be internet famous just like the two folks today whose questions were answered. I know, it's very, very exciting.
I'm making this really stupid, aren't I?
We make a lot of things stupid. What did that guy say? There was somebody on Facebook or something. What did he say? Like one good point and a bunch of crap.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah, I think it pretty much sums up the channel and my life, everything that I actually say. So, anyways, we're back answering questions, and we got time for 2 today. What do we have?
Oh, it's my turn? Yay! Okay, so Heather Costa, hi Heather, asks, how often do you like talent to update their demos? If they book off of it, should they leave it alone or always switch it up so it's current and trendy?
You know, it's a tough one. A lot of talent like to update their demos often. And I know because it's our talent and they send me an email, hey, I got a new one of these and a new one of these and a new one of the, and didn't you just, have new ones? So I don't know if they're just bored or what. My thinking for the most part is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's working for you and it's not so outdated that it still represents the best of your abilities. You might have gotten better, as often happens, over time. Hopefully, you're improving and you're getting better. Or you may have found your money voice, which is really, I hate that term, but it does make sense when people use it. They go, well, I have this one delivery, this one style and thing that I do, and it always seems to book. So maybe that's not represented on your demo, and you think, listen, I want to add that because cha-ching. Maybe your voice has changed. Sometimes people get older and their voices change. Obviously, if you're a much younger talent and you get a little bit older, yeah, she's starting. I know you could tell how aged this poor woman at my child bride is. But I mean, that does happen. And your voice changes, and you don't want to misrepresent yourself. But otherwise, I would resist the temptation if it's working for you. If it's not working at all, and you have it out there and you go, listen, 1 million people have listened to this demo and nobody's, clicking on the buy now button. Yeah, maybe it's your demo, man. Maybe you suck. I don't know. But it could be, it could just be your demo. As far as creating demos, I just wanted to take the opportunity to talk about demos a little bit, specifically commercial demos. Commercial demos are really, your commercial demo, more than your other demos, is really your calling card. Even in a situation where you can say, well, I'm an animation talent, people are still going to check out your commercial demo. I always go right to the commercial demo. That's pretty much all we listen to. When we're listening to new talent, we go straight for commercial. Because it gives you a great idea of who the talent is, of what they are. If it's a well-made commercial demo and it represents them well, you get kind of a sense of their personality and what they decided to include, and hopefully they're doing a happy spot and they're doing kind of an introspective spot and
make us laugh.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
big.
Yeah. I mean, funny stuff is great. There's people, especially with their narration demos, they want to have 74 narration demos, and here's my political, and here's my telephony, and whatever. If it helps you book, that's fine. But from an agent standpoint, it's not really something that we're going to use so much. We use kind of, the standards of animation, audiobook, whatever. But if you're going to make a new demo, again, specifically a commercial demo, there's kind of a standard that's evolved over the years, and it's evolved that way because it works, because people who are listening to your demo are looking for certain things. They want to know what you are, what you do, what it is that you bring to the table. Again, that's why they usually go with the commercial demo. So you want to kind of follow the standard. If you go a little bit too outside the box, which normally is great, it's not giving people what they need. It's not giving them what they are hoping to hear from your demo. You want to start with your absolute best material. There's no room or time for a slow burn. Or to, I'm going to start with a B-side and then we're going to work into the real meaty stuff.
I will turn off a demo within 3 seconds.
She'll turn off just millions of demos in a row. Everybody thinks it's hard to get past me. It's insanely hard to get past her. She's like, nope. We turned it off before without even hearing them, because as soon as you hit play, there's like a hiss. And you go, this is just, nope. It's really about keeping our finger off the stop button. And mine gets itchy, I know yours does. So you're just like, nah, because you got a billion things to listen to, and you're almost looking for something and just go, no, next, because you want that person to be such an amazing talent if you're going to bring them on. And
we want you to be real, too. Be yourself. Your voice should be you. That's what I want to hear.
I mean, if that first spot is, maybe a big car commercial or something, yeah, we don't feel that kind of, connection with you. But if that's your thing and that's what you do and that's the best spot or the best delivery that you give, definitely make sure it's first. Again, kill us with that. And then the second spot, you want it to be great as well, but kind of a departure from the first spot. If you only do one thing, that's not necessarily bad. Don LaFontaine wasn't famous for doing 800 different types of delivery. So if you're kind of a one-trick pony, it's not the end of the world. But most talent have a range, and they could do kind of happy or sad or introspective or whatever. Your second spot should kind of tell us that. If your second spot is very similar to your first spot, we always go,
we're going to get bored.
Well, or we go, yeah, I know. Well, I know you can do that because I just heard you do that in the past spot. So, what else can you do? Or it just tells us that's what I do and that's my thing. And, like I said, a lot of times that's all right too. Third spot, again, it's got to be one of your stronger spots. If it's a departure, that's wonderful. And then the rest of the stuff, have you ever listened to it like hardly?
Well, my own.
Yeah, hers.
Yours too. I listen to yours. No.
Yeah. No, we don't. We do to an extent. But most of the time, the rest of that stuff is just gravy. As long as you're killing them in the beginning, by that time, they've already made a decision. I'm going to hire them, or I'm going to rep them, or I love them. Where we come from, or where I come from, my opinion. But as I told Lindsay many times in the past, my opinion is fact. So you take that with as many grains of salt as you can. Awesome spot. Starting off, great spot. Number 2, a bit of a departure. Number 3, the rest is gravy. Pretty much. And again, that goes pretty much for any demo. Around 60. If you're doing like an audiobooks, they want you to go long because they want to know if they start getting bored with you after a while. Not unlike perhaps 2 people you're watching right now. But otherwise, condense it, man. I don't need to hear like the entire commercial and then the next one. We're busy. We have things to do, man. We have videos to, whatever, we're busy.
Tacos to eat.
Tacos. Busy. Don't do your own either. If it's one of those weird esoteric things like I was talking about before, this is my telephony or, whatever, go ahead and, if you want to cobble some stuff together, if you know what you're doing. But if it's a big one, it's a commercial or a narration demo or something like that, go to the pros, man, because, it's an art form. They know what they're doing. And you're too deep in the woods to see the trees. We're not very good at knowing what our strengths and weaknesses are. We see some of the things that we like, and we know the backstory about them. So we say, well, this was really a difficult read for me, and so I'm very proud of it, and then, my little baby, and you want to put that, up first. Or, hey, this was a giant spot for me. This was for my big Coca-Cola campaign, and I'm super proud of it, and I should really show potential clients, hey, look what I did. But meanwhile, it kind of sucks, or it's boring, or it's just not great. Who did your demo? Who did that one? There's one that's like amazing.
My animation demo was done by Dave DeAndrea,
That's
And
true. He doesn't do demos anymore, I don't think,
my
because it
video game
sucks.
demo-
It's so hard to do demos. So I don't even think he's in the game anymore.
My
It was
video
Chuck,
game
right?
demo is Chuck Duran.
Everybody goes to Chuck. Chuck will give you sticker shock, but he's worth every penny. You know, he knows what he's doing. He understands the art form and the business. And this is not like a paid plug or whatever. It's just like, you know, we rep talent and they go, oh, I just got back from Chuck. I got my new thing from Chuck. And they're always, you know, it's not like a cookie cutter kind of thing. There's definitely other people out there who know what they're doing. Do your research. You're going to pay a few bucks, but it's worth it. And I mean, if you've ever done a demo before, I've done even a few demos for her, and even for my wife, I was too close to it. And I'm like, oh, she sounds so cute in that or whatever. You know,
Well, it's garbage.
yeah, my own biases, you know, were just in there, where somebody else, they're like, hey, you know, they're removed from the situation and they just go, this is great, that sucks. And they're going to, you know, order stuff accordingly. And they got all the, especially with animation, that's like impossible to do that. You can't, that's not one of those little things, you know, oh, I'll just cobble it together on my own. You really got to know what you're doing with all the sound effects and whatever. And so go to somebody good and just, you know, pay for it, man. Just suck it up. Price of doing business. Yeah, pay this one, pay that one.
Yep.
They're worth it, though.
Drew Montgomery asks on Facebook,
Hi, Drew.
how many auditions do agents normally send to clients? I'm assuming it's limited, maybe 6, 8, or 10. If I'm the agent and can only submit a handful, do I submit Joe Schmo or one of my star talent?
I like to submit as many as I can. Whatever we're getting in, we stand behind all the talent that we represent. And it's, you know, a lot of times it's a numbers game. I mean, you know, if you can only give somebody, well, here's one, but, you know, they would have loved 20 of the others or one of the 200 others that you would have sent in. So to kind of do your own chopping up, for me, it doesn't work. I know some other agents do that, or they only have, you know, like 10 people or something because they want to put everything into them. Again, you know, it's kind of a numbers game. So I want to give them whatever I can. If you suck, and that happens. I mean, there's talent that are great. They're amazing. They just were not right for this one, or, you know, there was some sort of problem, or they were sick, or they just stunk up the place. You know, it happens. We'll read for something even and be like, wow, I sucked. Like this was not my best day. You know, when we submit stuff, depending on how we do it, either through our website or however, you know, it came in the first place, there's no control over where they're going to click first. So, you know, if Aaron Aronson happens to suck that day and we put it through, now the first stuff that they're hearing is, you know, is not good. We don't want them to hear anything that's not good. We want anywhere that they click they're going to go, wow, great. You know, that was a strong read. So, you know, if you're really blowing the curve, you know, but I take that very seriously, and I'm in the business of giving people opportunities. I don't want to take that away. Now, sometimes, maybe twice a month, perhaps they tell you top 10 only, which is, yeah, it sucks. It's understandable because, you know, they don't want to listen to 14 billion. You know, they want you to kind of do more vetting for them and just, you know, send in the good stuff.
It's so scary.
It's so tough, man, especially on the bigger jobs, because I mean, listen, what I'm in love with, the client might not be in love with. And when I'm like, and this has happened plenty of times, that I've almost...
The client might not even know what they want.
That's, yeah, that happens all the time too. You know, I'll know it when I hear it. But we've almost cut stuff before, and we're like, I don't know, all right, whatever, we'll put it through. And they were like, I love it, it's perfect. This is the best thing you could have given us. So when I'm getting a certain amount of auditions and I have to cut so many, you know, it sucks, it hurts. You feel like you're kind of dissing your buddies that you rep. But it's like there's always this nagging feeling like, oh, that was the one, and I had to delete it. And, you know, what are you going to do? It's subjective. It's so subjective. So we try to really have a good idea of, you know, hey, these were the ones that were more on the mark, or this was out there and it wasn't really what they were asking for, which is a little weird to put in if it's a top 10. But it was just cool, you know. We were like, wow, that's good, and that's, you know, that's enough that it's going to shake things up, and yeah, you know, we'll put that in. And I always wind up, you know, like, yeah, 12 or 13. You don't want to piss them off by not following their directions, but you know, sometimes it's just it's tough, man.
Get your auditions in early.
Yeah.
Because sometimes before you even submit your audition, if you wait till the last minute, it's already cast.
Sometimes it's recorded.
Yeah.
You know, if they put something out on Monday and they say, well, it's due Friday. You know, we'll try to say, well, it's due Wednesday. And by the time Friday rolls around, I mean, it's in the can, you know, it's done. So get them in fast. That's the thing. If it's not a top 10, we'll put them in in batches. So if you get stuff in early and then we give it to the client and then they have it and then we say, you know, there's more to come. But they're already listening to this stuff and maybe someone said, hey, that's good. Let's go. You know, we're out of here, Miller time. What else did you, oh, the star voices. Yeah, man, I'm a little biased. Like if it's one of those deals, again, you know, it's one of those top 10 kind of things and I got to cut somebody and I'm going, well, these are both good. And this one's a frequent flyer and they book all the damn time. And this one just happens to be one of my personal favorites, but I always no, because not everybody's right for every read. And some of your star talent definitely stink up the place for certain reads. But there's a little bit of a bias, you know, to be honest. So
you make us money, you're going to keep on making us money.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you just go, you know, listen, I think they're good because I decided to represent them. But man, people love that. Like this is, you know, this is the new unicorn frat, man. People are losing their minds over this. So
I didn't get one.
I know. This video is going to age well years from now. They'll be like, what the hell are they talking about? I think we're ready to...
Ask us questions. Ask lots of questions.
Put your questions down below. And then we'll feature you in the next video and we'll answer your questions. It's that simple. Like, subscribe. Is it so goddamn hard
to
just
push
the
subscribe emails.
Just I need love.
He needs love.
I need love.
It's
oh,
okay.
God,
It's
I
okay.
need. Tell me I'm good.
You're so good.
We'll be back next time. Say goodnight, Lindsay.
Good night, Lindsay.